I want to say this clearly because I think it matters. AI is not an even playing field right now, but it's also not doing what people think it's doing. I've already made a video about AI. And when I made that video, I thought I had gotten pretty good at it. Not mastered it, but good. Good enough to feel confident. Good enough to feel ahead of most people. Good enough to see real results. And then something shifted. Not because the tool changed, but because my understanding of what I was actually doing changed. What I'm realizing now is that there are layers to this. People talk about AI like it's one thing, like you either use it or you don't. That's not how it works. There are levels of use. And most people are still on the surface level, even when they think they're not. They're asking for outputs. They're getting answers. And they're impressed. And then they're stuck. Because having something generated is not the same as having something useful. And it's definitely not the same as having something connected to anything real. Here's the part people don't like hearing. AI doesn't remove the work. It concentrates it. If you don't know what you're building, if you don't know where something goes, if you don't know why it matters, AI will happily give you content that goes nowhere. You'll have a story or a script or a plan. And then you'll stare at it and think, now what? That's where people get frustrated. That's where they say AI doesn't really work, or that it's overhyped, or that it's not that impressive. But the problem isn't the tool. The problem is that AI doesn't replace judgment. It amplifies it. Everything I'm doing right now is still my ideas, my experiences, my noticing, my decisions. AI isn't inventing that for me. What it's doing is acting like a filter, a clarifier, a way to pressure test my thinking. But here's the part people miss. You have to build the filter first. You don't just show up and say, make me a YouTube channel, or write me a story, or automate my business. You have to decide what lane you're in, what kind of work you're doing, what matters and what doesn't, what connects and what doesn't. Only then does AI become powerful. That's why the people who are actually good at this aren't just fast. They're deliberate. They've done the boring work of thinking, of organizing, of deciding. And now that I have time, real time, months, not days, I'm realizing that this is the real advantage. Not speed, not volume, not automation for its own sake. Clarity. I'm getting better at writing, better at recording, better at structuring ideas. But I'm also getting better at using the tool itself, at knowing when to use it, when not to, what to ask, and what not to outsource. That's the part no one sells you. AI doesn't think for you. It makes your thinking visible. And that can be uncomfortable because it shows you where you're vague, where you're scattered, where you're reacting instead of building. So instead of pretending I figured it all out, I'm just going to keep documenting what I notice. Not as advice, not as a system, and not as a course. Just observations. Because I think that's what will actually help people. Seeing how this looks when someone is learning it honestly. Not pitching it, not overclaiming it, not pretending it does more than it does. AI is powerful, but it's still very human. And the work still belongs to you. That's what I noticed. And I think it's worth saying out loud.